Okay, welcome to activity 15. And on activity 15, we're going to be using one of the most important parts of a basically a computer program, which is the if statement. We'll be doing some other stuff, formatting cells with percentage and doing some other stuff, but that's the one I want you to see. You'll notice I gave you a tab down here that says if statements. Go ahead and click on that tab. And here we go. Okay, so the if statement performs an action based on first evaluate the logical expression. Is it equal to foo? Okay, foo being a word that gets used in computer programming a lot to just mean something. Okay, so then the value if true, then the value if false. So let's go up here, and what we see is if A1 equals foo, A1 does not equal foo. So we haven't told it to do anything if false, so it simply typed in false. The second example right here, we told it quote or open quote, close quote to type, and there's nothing between them. So type nothing. If A1 equals foo, A1 is foo. Else, value if false, type nothing. So let's go ahead and type foo. Oops. So now you see that in both of these, if A1 equals foo, A1 is foo, okay? Rather obviously. Now you can use numbers here, you can use greater than, less than, you can use all sorts of expressions just to let you know. It isn't as simple, always as simple as equals foo. Just now, here we're using a checkbox. So this is how a checkbox would be used in a spreadsheet. So right now it is checked. So that is true. And so if it's true, type A3 was true. You can again do lots of different things right here. Right now we're just using very simple examples. You can again perform mathematical operations. You can print something. You can do lots of stuff based on this. So now I'm going to uncheck it. And now if A3 equals true, well, it doesn't. So this doesn't apply. So now value if false, A3 was false. Now, in something as simple as true and false, we can actually shorten this a lot. So if A4, and again, this is simply a yes, no question. Yes, A4, yes. Then print 4. Else, print 5. So we uncheck it. There you go. Okay, so the if statement, relatively clear. First is the logical expression, equal to, greater than, lots of different things we could be using right here, okay? Then, what do you do if the value is true? So ultimately, whatever expression you put here, it eventually has to be able to have a condition of, yes, it is, no, it isn't. If it is, then do whatever it tells you to do here. Put print 4. Print A3 was true. Okay, print A1 is foo. Or the next logical expression, yes, no, well, no. Then value if false. Foo is not in that cell, so we've now printed nothing there. A3 was false because it's not true, okay, as in the cell A3, yes, no, is now a no, which we use the words true and false here, okay? And here, again, we're going to make that false, and so it's going to put up the value if false. I wanted to go over all of these just so you can have an idea because we're going to be using an if statement in today's lesson, okay? So let's go ahead and I'm going to start the directions here. So the first thing we're going to do here is bring in the data. So we're going to bring in the data from 14. Coming over here to 14. I'm going to select everything. Control C. Okay, I'm done with 14 now. Come over here. Control V. And eventually it will show up. Or will it? There it goes, finally. Okay, had me panicked. I can now close 14. I'm done using it. And so you will need to open activity 14 to do activity 15, just to let you know. Okay, something weird happened here. You see that? So I'm not 100% sure what happened there. So I'm going to go to Format Painter, get rid of that. Come over here, click on Format Painter, get rid of that. Like something weird happened. It occasionally does happen when you're bringing things in like that. And you can see that these cells here did the same thing. So again, I'm just going to go to Format Painter, select that, and I'm going to very carefully drag that across all of these right here. There we go. Now, Now we need to move all of these back over to the right, though. Not a big deal. It's a lot easier than trying to sit there and fix the formatting. Find what you like, use Format Painter, drag it over whatever's wrong. Okay. So now let's see what they tell us to do. Key in the data shown in data worksheet 15-1. And for that, you're going to, just to let you know, you're going to go to page number 69 in the PDF and go ahead and key in the data. And I'm going to be doing the same. As a comment, you can kind of see I sort of goofed. I got out of order on my cells here. So I'm just going to grab these cells right here. Again, don't retype stuff. And drag those up to there. Good. Okay. Left that weird bar right there. Again, I'm just going to go over here, Format Painter, and click here. And fixed. Well, that's still ugly. Come back, try that again. Format Painter. Come to right here, and fixed. Good. Okay, fixed. So we've now got all of this typed in. Let's take a look and see what they want us to do with this. Okay, so key in the data, select cell G18 and format to bold. Okay, where is cell G18? What? Give me a second to look at this. Okay, that makes sense. Cell G8. G8. Why am I formatting G8 as bold? I'll find out in a few minutes. Okay, I'm sure there's a reason. G8. Select the text out inside the text box and format to bold. Okay, you notice that the text box is now gone. Again, when you do this in Excel, it's going to work a little bit better because their text boxes are handled a little bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and put in that text box again. So insert, drawing, text box, and let's see what they wanted us to type in that text box. I'm just scrolling down here. Okay, so I'm going to pause for a minute and get that typed in. Okay, if all that keyed in, I can now click on Save and Close, and there we go. And again, I can sort of adjust the size of this a little bit. Okay, so anyways, I'm going to move this over to where it was, purchase order number, justification for purchase. Good. Now let's go back and take a look at more and more of the directions. Okay. Select column I and format the cells as percentage with no decimal places. Okay, so we're going to click right here on the I. We're going to click on percentage. And we're going to use the little decrease decimal places until it says just 3%. Great. Okay, next. To be eligible for the discount, the item must have a Y in the discounted column. Okay, to calculate the discount amount. So here's where we're going to use that if statement. It is kind of a weird looking statement because there's more going on in this than you're used to seeing. But the format remains the same. All formulas and functions start with an equal sign and then if. It doesn't need to be capitalized, just to let you know. I'm going to purposely not capitalize just so you guys can see that it doesn't matter. If, open parenthesis, H17 equals. Now here it does matter, quote, Y, quote. That one does matter because we're looking there to see what's there. And we're putting that in quotes because it is a letter. It's not a numerical value, okay? Comma. So this was, coming back over to here for just a moment, this was the test of the logical expression, okay? And the logical expression test was H17 equals Y. If so, this is what we're going to tell it to do. If that is true, open parenthesis, F17 times G17, which makes a certain amount of sense here. We're going to multiply the quantity by the unit price. Close parenthesis. Now this part that I think their math gets a little bit weird because those parentheses were completely unnecessary there with order of operations. Now we're going to multiply it by the discount rate, which is 3%. Okay, and we're going to get the discount, the amount of discount. And so that's going to be I-17. Comma. Now we're going to tell it what to do if it's not equal to yes. Open parenthesis, or open quote, I'm sorry. 0.00, close quote, close parenthesis, enter. Okay, Now it's asking, do we want to autofill that? As a matter of fact, we do. So let's go ahead and just check to autofill. Now you see that this one here, we do want to again make sure that everything in this column is right aligned. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to choose right aligned. The reason why it jumped to the left right there is because we are treating those zeros as text. Remember, we put those within quotes, and that's why it jumped over to the left, because by default, spreadsheets put text on the left and numbers on the right. Okay, just so you're aware of what happened there. Now, really, I kind of made a goof there, and you guys should know it. I should have autofilled all the way down to here. Okay, and that's what I did. And now it's got the zeros there because there's no Y here. If there were a Y here, it'd probably give me an error. Yeah, it's going to do something different. Okay, so if it's no or not or anything other than the letter Y, we told it to put 0.00, just so you're aware of what's going on there. Okay, that was the if function, and that was step number 5. Select cell J17, fill down. We already did that. Fill in the formula, yes. And then right align. We already did that. Okay, so that was step number 6. To calculate total price is going to be relatively simple. I'm going to come over here to total price, and it's equal to, open parenthesis, F17. So F17. Note I just clicked on it this time. Times, they all do the same thing. Times G17. Again, quantity times the price. Okay, close parenthesis. Minus the discount amount. There are different ways of doing this calculation, by the way. Enter. Good. Now, big surprise, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fill that down to here. There we go. Okay. So now we've got the price after the discount. Okay, so it's done. So what it did is it multiplied these two numbers together. Because there is a discount, we have this number here. It subtracted this number. This one, we multiplied these two numbers, but there is no discount, so it subtracted nothing. Okay. Now, the only thing left here, I believe, is I forgot to type in shipping charges, didn't I? Yep, shipping charges, $12.95. Okay. And you saw that automatically updated the total right there. Okay. Oh, we still got weird stuff going on down here. Good. And format painter. And here I got to put that underline back in. If you're wondering what now I got to put that line back in because I just got rid of it. Good. Okay. So what do they want us to do next? Do they want us to do anything next? Or are we already done? Let me look. Calculate the total price for each item. Yes. Autofill down. Careful. Okay. So at this point, you are done. The important point out of this lesson, the two things they want you to see was, okay, formatting as currency, we did that already. Formatting as percentage, we did that. But the real key to this lesson, of course, was your first exposure to that if statement. If some test, like, is that equal to Y? If yes, if true, then comma, do what's there. If it's not true, comma, do what comes after that, okay? And that's the basic format of the if statement. So go ahead and make sure you get this turned in. There shouldn't be any differences between this, other than how the text box is handled, between this and Excel.